What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today I did want to talk about something here on Motorfest and also the Crew 2 on top of it. Now this is probably going to be along the lines of something I've been seeing popping up everywhere. People have been talking about the Crew 2 and they've also been talking about Motorfest and stuff. So it did make me think about something. But you probably did see the title of this video. Did the Crew 2 do it better than Motorfest? Now, before you do say anything right off the bat, the first thing I want to mention is Motorfest definitely took some positive steps in the right direction without a doubt. I mean, that is probably going to be very obvious, guys. It has pretty much one of the most beautiful maps in basically any racing game at the moment. We can definitely say that for a fact there. We are all going to know that a lot of the car sounds were improved, even though many of them or some of them are going to be copied and stuff like that, or maybe some of the car sounds, some of the details in the interiors, or the way the guys are not shifting the car and stuff like that. Like, some of that stuff probably wasn't what people were expecting. Who knows, maybe they're going to fix it, but as long as I can remember, like, these shifting animations and stuff really haven't worked as they probably should be. With all of that also being said, we did indeed also get better physics and stuff like that on top of it in Motorfest, because I do know the Crew 2 had a lot of mixed opinions on the overall handling physics. To be honest, guys, I'm probably going to go out on a limb here and say this, which I think people will end up agreeing. But the physics in the Crew 2, or I guess you could say the handling in the Crew 2, for some odd reason, got worse when the game was out, or at least more updates hit it. I think one of the biggest things I did notice about the game when playing it, and the biggest turning point that I noticed, and also my friend at the exact same time, was going to be back in the day before the lovely Huracan Performante was nerfed. Remember that car, guys? It was going to be one of the only Summit cars ever that came out that was legitimately going to be a new car in a Summit. And I feel like to this day, that thing really is the OG because of that. Like, come on, man. It's a Lamborghini Performante. Not only was it going to be the only car in a Summit that was going to be a new car, not a version of a vehicle. On top of that, it also had customization. But the thing is, where I was going with this, though, is the fact that that car pretty much back in the day was going to be considered, I guess you could say, overpowered in a sense. And then they did end up nerfing it back then, which funny part is they also did end up messing up the handling, which I do remember many people talking about that, pretty much going, yo, what happened to the handling after this update? Or, yo, or something's going to be changed and stuff, which I was seeing people saying that in Motorfest again, that some people believe some of the things with the handling were going to be changed again. I am curious to know what y'all think about that in the comments. Do you think the handling or the physics or the way the cars feel and stuff like that have been changing after certain updates? Do let me know your thoughts, because I am curious to see what you all think. But one of the big reasons why I was asking this question, though, is I have been playing Motorfest a bit, and I'm also going to be completely honest here, guys. It's probably going to be fairly obvious, and I would almost guarantee that a lot of people are probably in a similar boat to I am at this point. But I haven't been playing Motorfest nearly as often as I used to. To be honest, I pretty much get on every single week, do the summit, I check a few things and all that, and then I basically dip out because I really do not have a reason to play it at the moment. Like, nothing is really dragging me back into this game. But with that being said, it also brought me into the Crew 2, though, because I always had a desire to play the Crew 2, even though I had a lot of things on there, whether that was going to be racing or all the vehicle classing, every different part sets and all that, and me wanting to get them because I felt like they were super useful. We're also then going to have the other side of that, of the summits, and then you also have all the cars and all that, and then you're also going to have all the different vehicle classes that always popped up in the summits, like a regular aerobatic race and like a rally raid event or something, or you see like a hovercraft event or like an airplane event pop up. So you're probably going to be farming, going after those said part sets, and I feel like it gave players a reason to go after them, whereas in Motorfest, I just don't have a big desire to really jump on this game and do things. Like, once the summon is done, man, that is pretty much going to be it. All the playlists are kind of going to be cooked, or you do them and you don't have a reason to do them because the payouts and all that make absolutely no sense. And then on the other side of that, you're then going to have the Grand Racing, which is going to be pretty much the only form of PvP in the game. We all do know there is going to be Demolition Royale, but let's be honest, how many people actually play it? I would say you could probably find a lobby and stuff like that if you really wanted to, but to be honest, I've only played a few matches of it, and I do admit it was pretty entertaining. Kind of sad that they're kind of just throwing Demolition Royale away, because I feel like that game mode could have been great, and they definitely could have did a lot more stuff with it. When it does come to Grand Racing, though, I don't know, man. I don't hate Grand Racing, guys. I don't hate it. I'm just kind of bored of it, man. Like, I wanted to have class-based PvP and stuff added, which I really do feel like is a huge L on this game. And I just, it really does shock me the fact that they haven't added class-based PvP or anything different to the game at all. It honestly doesn't really make that much sense. I might touch on this in a different video because it does kind of frustrate me a bit. We all do know Forza is going to be coming out very soon as well, so that might end up playing a role there in something. But I do feel like a lot of people might end up looking at something like this and then going, okay, well, where is going to be all the PvP stuff and all that? And one thing I want to put up on the screen here, this was going to be on the Twitter page there on Motorfest, guys. Someone asked them about the PvP thing, like we want different classes and all that stuff for racing. They came back with, we appreciate your feedback. More PvP modes is something we can see the community asking for, and this is something we can look at in the future. What? Like that, I don't know. Looking at that honestly really confused me a lot because I don't know why they'd have to look at adding that into the future when people have legit been asking for PvP stuff from what? Like a year and a half ago when the game came out, a month after the game release, people were like, yo, we need more PvP stuff. Grand racing is cool, but where's the classes or where's like the team-based racing or where's the other game modes that they can easily add in there, man? I don't know. Maybe they're trying to focus on grand racing more than anything, but this also brought me in, and one reason why I did want to mention this in this video is, you know, did the Crew 2 do it better than Motorfest? And well, in the PvP aspect, yeah, the Crew 2 obviously did it better. There was going to be specific class races in there, and that alone was going to make the experience that much better because you could be like, okay, well, I'm going to use a touring vehicle, aka a racing car, and everybody else is going to use it. We're going to race around this track now, or we're going to pick rally raid vehicles and do a rally raid event. I feel like just having that would legit make the game so much better, but at this point, guys, I honestly don't know if a grand race thing or changes to that might honestly ever happen. I don't know. It's just very odd to me, though. And on top of that, we're then going to have the other aspects of the Crew 2 that I still think about to this day, like the stories update. Absolutely loved it. I've also talked about the hobbies and stuff like that, how it should come back in Motorfest. Basically giving players things to go after, challenges, things to do. I really feel like that would be dope. I did also end up making a video a while back talking about, like, getting the vehicles to 1,000 miles or having different challenges or, you know, different upgrade timelines for each vehicle to give players a reason to do them. Whether that's going to be races or get XP with that car, you can unlock different vanities or, you know, different audio signatures for that car class. Like maybe if you're driving like a Japanese or a German vehicle, you can go unlock like a German type of audio signature like an AMG or something like that. Wouldn't that be kind of dope, man? I don't know. I'm kind of just throwing stuff out there, but then again, my mind kind of goes insane because I feel like there is so much they can do with this game, and sometimes I feel like it really is being wasted. Now, speaking of that, though, the other thing I did want to discuss here is going to have to do along the lines of that entire thing I just said, is I gotta admit, guys, I do understand both games are going to be different. We do know Motorfest is the quote-unquote new game. The Crew 2 is going to be old. That game was going to get updates for, you know, 6 or so years, and people are going to argue that that game is going to have a lot more content because of the 6 years, which is obviously going to be fairly true. Now, I did end up making a video about the entire, like, content in that game, compared to Motorfest, how the updates in that game were going to be better, more content and stuff. And the funny part is, I do know people are probably going to argue that fact and say that, you know, maybe the updates in Motorfest are going to be on par. And the biggest thing I gotta argue with that, or like a counter argument, is going to be, well, yeah, maybe some of the Motorfest updates were similar to the Crew 2, but here's the thing about that. We were getting updates in the Crew 2. All the content in the Crew 2 updates, for the most part, was going to be new items, whether it was going to be vanities, outfits, and different things you can unlock in something like the motor passes or doing different challenges and stuff like that were going to be connected to things like, for example, the hobbies had vanities and vehicles in them and stuff. But in Motorfest, though, I was noticing most of the updates are going to have newer stuff. Like, for example, you see the Hoonicorn and stuff, or you'd end up seeing something like the Hoonigan update or something like the Red Bull and stuff like that, and you go in and see different items you can unlock, or you'd end up seeing new vehicles, even though they're probably going to be a car with a livery, which is the Red Bull update. I gotta admit it. Like, yeah, it's going to be fairly solid, even though people are saying it's the best update so far, and, can I say I really don't see how that's the best update so far? Like, yeah, we got a little racetrack in some areas there, but I think we honestly need more races, man. And the next playlist is going to have 7 more races, which funny part is you can literally view that in the menu if you guys are wondering. And you all know what the hilarious part is I did not even realize you could even do this. So being in the menu here, head over to the driver, then go over to the avatar customization here. Basically go over to the clothes, scroll all the way down to the helmets, go all the way to this side, then go over to the one that's going to say Red Bull Wild Ride. Look at that helmet, by the way, looking all right, but if you click on it, look what it's going to bring up, guys. Honestly, pretty dang hilarious. So you can legitimately see the items. You're also then going to see the bike right there that is going to have the lovely Robbie Madison thing. I would say the bike looks pretty dope. It is legit going to be the 450 EXC with these ski things on it. Hopefully it's going to be fairly decent, I'm guessing and hoping that it will be. But looking at the events here, you're going to have the Sunset Race here, which is Rally Raid. We have a Rally, Powerboat, Motocross, a Drift event, Alpha GP, and then a motocross one again, which I'm going to say you could probably pick different vehicles like the other ones and all that. But one of the things I got out of this, though, is they're going to be adding races and stuff based on the playlist and all that, which we all do know is kind of not working at this point. I mean, we all do know this game's going to have way less races than the Crew 2. And yeah, you could probably argue and stuff and say it's really not going to be that less. But let's be honest, guys, I have mentioned before, the disciplines in this game are going to have way less events. Rally Raid's not going to have many. Rally itself is now going to have 6. After this update does drop, again, this is going to have rally cars in it. The entire map of Maui is going to have dirt roads legitimately everywhere. And there is only going to be one rally event in this entire thing, which honestly, I just find that kind of crazy to me. Like, there is legit off-road areas everywhere. Like, you know what? Here, quick, let me go over to the map and I gotta show this real quick because I feel like this is something that the Crew 2 honestly did way better. Like, yeah, you can argue and say maybe the updates weren't as good as Motorfest, but I can kind of argue that and say, guys, look at all the empty roads. I have talked about this before. There is literally dirt roads everywhere. They can add way more rallycross events and honestly way more races in general on this entire map. And I really find it crazy. Like, bro, look, you can literally have a race in the field here going around a circle or something like that. There is so much unused stuff around this entire map. It's honestly mind-blowing. And the funny part with that, though, is I would say a lot of players are probably going to look at this map and go, well, yeah, Block, there is legit roads everywhere. There's dirt roads everywhere. And you're telling me the next playlist is only going to have one dirt race in it, man? Like, it just really is frustrating because I feel like the Crew 2 really did utilize things a lot better. I do understand you can argue that, yeah, the graphics on the map weren't that great or, you know, a lot of things might be copy and pasted and stuff like that. But you know what? The map overall, they really did a great job utilizing things around it, whether they're adding a bunch of new racetracks to the map or something like that with like the Dominion Forsberg update. They added different tracks in the cities and all that stuff. Like, they really did try to implement things around the entire map, adding so many different elements and different things to do in the game, which I feel like is a huge win. That was one thing I really do gotta admit. I feel like the Crew 2 definitely did it better. And in some ways, I feel like Motorfest is definitely falling behind in that aspect. Like, can we all agree, guys? I feel like they could easily be doing a lot more with the events in Motorfest and stuff. And I'm not going to preach about this and keep talking about it and keep repeating myself and all that because I honestly don't want to bore you guys and keep ranting and all that stuff about, yeah, we need more events for each class. Like, everybody probably does get it. And I'm kind of wondering if they're ever going to do it. But again, I feel like the Crew 2 did that better than Motorfest. They definitely utilized stuff more. And on top of having more events for every single class, again, we can agree that the overall rewards in that game were definitely going to be ahead of Motorfest overall. I feel like people are starting to get kind of tired of seeing all the same rewards over and over. And I feel like that's probably going to be another odd decision in this game. I don't know, a lot of things in TCM. Now, don't get me wrong, I do like this game, guys. I do enjoy it. I haven't been playing it that much because I haven't really been enjoying, or I guess you could say there's not much to do in the game for me at the moment. And on top of that, I'm kind of waiting for Forza Horizon because I'm mad excited to play it. So it's kind of hard for me to get into TCM and do things with because I pretty much have most of the stuff in the game. I don't really know what to do besides going over different playlist races and stuff, which I don't find that entertaining. And the insane part is I would rather go back in the Crew 2 and do some of the motocross races, some of the rally ones, some of the longer hyper events. because not only are those races going to take you on journeys and stuff, but they're also going to be paying you a good amount of money because the icon point system is better. You can make a lot more money from basically any of the events, or you can farm any type of race you want and stuff. And if you wanted to get on TCM, you're probably going to struggle trying to make money. The amount of people I see, well, how much or what is like the best way to make money, or what is going to be the best way to get XP? And well, at the moment, there really isn't going to be a best way unless you want to farm like one or two races like Kiss Me Combi for 3 or 4 hours. And do y'all know how easy it is to get burnt out on a game farming one race for 3 hours, bruh? I would say it's probably going to be fairly easy to do that. Now, I could probably keep ranting on and talking about some of this stuff, but I am very curious to know what y'all think about this in the comments below. I do feel like a lot of people are probably going to be discussing this. I've been seeing a lot more people talking about it. More and more videos are popping up now of people saying, yo, why are we getting this old car in the Crew 2? I actually think it was Militia Gaming. When I was watching him, I was like, bro, I agree. Legit, why are we getting the old Crew 2 vehicles if this car was just in a summit a couple weeks ago? I don't want to play the Crew 2. I want to play TCM. This is legit the new game that was full price that many people spent $100+ on. So don't y'all think they should probably have all that in this game? Or as he mentioned, like, put all the cars in the game for sale, maybe have different challenges or something. I don't know, man. Add like a legacy hobby thing to the game. Y'all know what I'm saying, bro? Have a big legacy hobby thing with hundreds of different challenges. And guess what? Have unlocked trees for different cars that many people want, like the Emerald Storm Edition that's never come back, or the Hummer HX Enforce Unit. Put in the Performante, put in different Summit cars in there that you have to do challenges for and unlock them, instead of like throwing them in there and going, okay, well, here's the main stage vehicle. This car is going to be in the game, and then 2 weeks ago it was in the Crew 2, which honestly I don't understand that. We also had the Summit where we did have the Underglow. 2 weeks ago it was going to be in a Twitch drop. Like, I don't know, man. Just so many odd decisions, guys. Do let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. I would say some people might be like, yo, Black, why are you complaining, man? And to be real, I see the potential in this game. I do like TCM. The Crew series is incredible, and I feel like there is legit so much potential to really make this game stand out and make it so much better, or at least a lot different than the other racing games on the market. But at the moment, guys, can't we all agree a lot of this really is starting to feel like wasted potential? Like, I mean, come on, we're 1.5 years in. How did we not have a different PvP mode? Instead, they were going to add things they thought people wanted with, like, the modifiers and grand races. And from what I saw, people don't seem to be the biggest fan of that because no one wants to use the same 2 or 3 bad cars for an entire day, doing the same routes over and over. Like, it definitely is going to be an issue. On top of that, this is going to be slightly random, but I do indeed miss the animals and stuff and the life and all that the Crew 2 had. I don't know why they did not do that in Motorfest. Maybe it was like a licensing thing that they couldn't have animals in there or like people walking around. I really don't know. I wouldn't say that's going to be a deal breaker and stuff, but I kind of like driving around and stuff in the Crew 2, whether it was like in a rally raid going up mountains and stuff and seeing like random mooses or something like an elk or like deer, and then you see like alligators in the Everglades or birds everywhere, or you see like a fox and a cow. Like, I thought that was kind of dope. Again, that's probably going to be kind of like a dumb thing to compare or like put in there, but I just kind of thought it gave the game life, or kind of set it off and really made it unique. At the moment, guys, I do think TCM is going to have unique aspects to it, but we all do know Forza is legit around the corner, and that game is going to offer things that this game pretty much will never be able to do, which I would say really should make Ubisoft a bit worried. Maybe it's going to wake them up a bit. I hope it does. But let me know what y'all think. Did the Crew 2 do it better than Motorfest? Let me know in the comments if it did it better. What are some things that Motorfest did better? We all do know this game definitely took positive steps. Not only did it go positively forward, but in ways it honestly did go backwards, and I feel like players are probably starting to notice it.